Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV with Dan the Voice Dyker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Riker. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, in La Crosse on 3rd Street downtown and George and Gillette Street. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hey, race fans, welcome in to Seven Rivers Racing KQEG TV back again as we are getting close to the end of the racing season. Here we are mid-September, and well, locally wise, we only have Oktoberfest remaining, but nationwide, a lot of track championships are coming down and a whole lot of big shows. I'm Radio Man Dan Dyke along with Billy Doc Niles and Paul Reichert. They call him the Statman and Penguin. We just call him Tiny.
I can't believe you gave him Statman back. I thought I outstatted him twice already.
There has to be a grace period because we're thinking Oktoberfest. So we're being nice there. Now, if he screws up and gives us the wrong stat again, the Penguin will come back out of retirement.
Noise.
Yeah.
And he gets croutons, too.
Yeah. We're going to feed him croutons. That was my pre-show snack. As we do every single week, Crosse Speedway, we're going to recap with video showing you what happened last weekend. As we did have one track champion crowned and a whole lot of demolition going on. We went from 66 to 13. We'll give you that math here in just a moment. Yeah. And segment 2 today, Tomah Sparta Speedway not only crowned champions last Friday night, but 4 of those champions won their feature as well. That's going to be kind of a cool thing. What a way to end a long, struggling, rain-filled, hot summer than winning a track championship, and you solidify with a feature win last night.
You know, we talked about it, listen to our radio show this Saturday. We talked about champions winning the last race to claim their championship, and nothing's cooler than seeing it not once, not twice, but 4 times in one night. So we're going to get some video of that here in the second segment.
And then Thunderstox Driver and Hobby Stock Driver Chris Christen is going to be joining us.
I think he's minivanned it a couple times too. I don't think there's anything he hasn't driven. Except a sportsman and I think a sportsman and a Thunderstox or a late model, the only things he hasn't driven.
Well, he claims that he's going to take his dad, Rob Christian's late model, and if Jesse Posick has anything to do about it, Chris will be in it next year.
Well, we'll just wait till segment 3 to drag that out of him.
Championship night at Crosse Speedway last weekend for the minivan division, and this was an interesting one. Matt Moore led Rob Stanfield by 1 point. Let's show the last 2 laps of this one right here. And I tell you what, Bill, these guys did this. Paul, you were there as well. 8 straight laps, door-to-door, side-by-side, and they were not even beating on each other. It was just a hell of a race.
Oh, yeah, it was a great race. That was exciting to see the championship just hanging the balance back and forth, and it was just an awesome ending.
You know, Dan, back at the beginning of August when they finally got their first race in, these two pretty much previewed what this class was going to be like when they did pretty much the exact same thing the first night they got on the track, and what a phenomenal race those two put on for the championship. You can't get any better than that.
Rob Stanfield wins the race, and he defends, or actually holds off Matt Moore and wins the championship by 2 points. It was a 3-point swing. This race was so good that I talked to track promoter Chuck Deary when the race was over with, down at the bottom of the hill. He's relaxing in his golf cart, saying goodnight to people. And I said, man, what a race that was. And Chuck says, you know, when I step away from this racetrack, that's going to be one race I will always remember.
That's impressive, especially he's been there, what, I want to say close to 27, 28 years.
32, actually 32 years. This is 32nd year. 87, yeah.
No, so, yeah, 32 years. And,
he just got the Statman label.
Wow, you got me there.
That was good. So I congratulate Rob Stanfield for the championship run, and Matt Moore as well, making that one heck of a show. And all the minivan drivers, hopefully we see a lot more come out next year. Street stocks were out again. Matt Moore was involved with this one, heads into the night as your point leader. Let's show you the last couple of laps here. Matt really didn't figure into this one, though.
No, he didn't. It was a struggle for him, but he somehow got into it late with Tristan, and that was still a good race there.
Tristan Jaskowski, remember that name. He went over to Tomah this year. His very first night ever there, took 2nd place, came back the next weekend and won the feature.
Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago on this very program. You know, phenomenal to do that well at that track on your first time out. and then to follow it up with a feature win the second time out, you don't see that very often. So he's got a really good package for that track.
And he did admit, I mean, Matt Moore was not there the night that Tristan won. Tristan had said and called him out on Facebook, funny-wise, nothing negative. I wanted Matt Moore. Matt Moore said, well, come on, bring it. Well, then Tristan had Army drills, so he couldn't go back the rest of the year, but I would suspect he'll be there next year. Street Stocks, Matt Moore heading into Oktoberfest leads Chris Larson by 13 points. Matt Moore still has a chance to win 3 championships this year because he won the Chaos Championship at Tomah, which we'll talk about later.
You know, Larson pretty much had a strangle on this, and then Moore has just been coming on the last few weeks. Larson, the last couple of weeks, it's just problem after problem after problem. That's allowed Moore to open up this 13-point lead. This could be a challenging one come Oktoberfest.
200-lap Enduro. 4- and 6-cylinder was next out. They sent the 4 cylinders first. 6 cylinders were a lap down. Then they had 3 other cars that came on after them. I'm not sure what that was.
Yeah.
But we started with 66, which was phenomenal on that track. It was probably one of the best enduros I've called out there in a while. Paul said he got better appreciation for me as an announcer because he's never heard someone announce a 200-lap enduro. That's rough.
Well, Paul, you got it right there, because it is hard to, number one, track the leader, and number two, track even like 2nd through 5th.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've seen the 200-lap enduro, and I thought Street Stocks on the quarter mile was impressive, but this was, my gosh, way more impressive. See 66 cars on there.
Started with 66. We ended, as you see right here, with 13 attrition. Broken tires, I mean, you name it. Radiators were going up in flames, and we had a couple of cars catch on fire.
Yeah.
How about in the end, and if you looked at his car, you could not tell he had just ran a 200-lap enduro. Al Bartles from Tomah, he only had a little bit of damage
to the bumper,
and that was it.
That was all he had, but that was a pretty clean race for him.
You know, he didn't earn the name Steady Al Bartles back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
For no reason. That guy has been around that track for a long, long time, especially that quarter mile. He knows the short way around it. He took his time, very little problems at all for him, and in the end, he wins it.
And it was the same car. They just in a street stock in, and he'll have
Which
that
one?
same
Because he
car.
has two. He's got the red one.
It was the white one.
It was the white one.
Yeah, he said the red one's kind of in the pasture. So
isn't that where it started the season?
That's exactly right. And he'll have the white one back out for championship night Thursday at Oktoberfest. When we come back, talking about champions, it was a night of at the Tomah Sparta Speedway. We're going to recap those races coming up next on 7 Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
4 years in a row and counting. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big Boar Barbecue. Once again, La Crosse County has voted us the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Making great ribs and great barbecue has always been my passion, and it means a great deal to me that you love what we do. If you haven't tried our ribs, pulled pork, brisket, or smoked chicken, try it and you'll agree. Big Boar Barbecue, a delicious mouthful.
Yeah.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter.
Hey, Dave.
Like giving Jeff his ladder back before he takes it back. Or where to put the food when you both get the groceries. Or the doggy door that just became a raccoony door. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call today for your free estimate on a new American Standard system or schedule online at careyheating.com.
Welcome back, race fans. Talking a lot of champions on Severus Racing KQEG TV. Bill Doc Niles, and that is the Penguin, the Tiny Penguin, Statman, Paul Reichert. We just got all the names in right there.
Just outstatted me. Wow.
I was going to eat a crouton off of his head, but he said, no, you can call me Penguin, and we'll just kind of go over that part there. I'm Radio Man Dan Dyker. Let's go to the Tomah Sparta Speedway. Billy Doc Niles. Not only did we crown 6 champions last weekend, 4 of them won their own features.
You know, we talked about that in the first segment and on our radio show about champions doing what it takes to win a championship. And in this case, 4 out of 6 of them get to the start-finish line first, get to that checker flag first. A couple of them claiming their first championships ever, so it was a really cool deal to see last week.
Midwest Dash Series, Pat Tickey brought that red 56 out during Oktoberfest last year, surprised everybody. Worked on it during the summers. Be sure the last 2 laps of this one right here. And pretty much all year, it was Patrick Ticky and just dominating all year.
Patrick just dominated the whole season. He looked great all year, and he had a few challengers, but no one really could match him at the end of the season.
And, you know, he really didn't even need to run this race because he pretty much had it wrapped up, but he capped it off in grand fashion by winning the feature.
And he not only got quick time, he said that was the fast. I thought it was quick when we were up in the tower. That was the fastest lap he turned at Tomah all year on old tires as well.
Oh, wow.
And that track will eat tires up. It's let's face it, it's an old track, it's an old surface, it's going to eat tires up, and to turn your fastest lap, that's impressive.
Chuck Hausman had a clock down in turn 1 on Patrick Ticky's breakout lap, 75 mile per hour at the Tomah Sparta Speedway.
That's impressive, especially for a Hornet.
It is.
6 shooters we go. Matt Moore, really not like the La Crosse Speedway where things were so tight, and they're still tight. 6-cylinder class. Matt Moore, he's going to show you right here. He won every single feature except 2 this year. Every single one from the back row. Sound like another Moore?
Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
from the same family.
Exactly.
and we just talked at the beginning of this segment that one of them he ran. One of them he didn't win. He wasn't even there for. So it's an amazing feat. Pretty much like Ticky had this division wrapped up and just took it home with a feature win.
Matt Moore also was the 2018 Chaos event winner at the Tomah Sparta Speedway. To the Hornets we go. Averaged about between 24 and 28 a race this year. And we're going to look through the history of the Tomah Sparta Speedway, but the Rhinestone Cowboy, I gave him that nickname about a month ago. It's on the hood of his car now because of the way he dresses, and he loves Glenn Campbell. Aren't you shocked that I even knew who sang that?
No, I'm not shocked. Trust me.
At the end of the segment, Paul's going to hum a bar of the Rhinestone Cowboy for us. Alex DeVito, as you see right here, worked his way halfway through this field, did a great job all season long. He and Danny Fry went back and forth about 4 times, exchanging the point lead. The bad part of this is Dan Fry entered the night only 8 points out of first place, and the flooding took his car, trailer, and I heard some of his garage, some of his shop. And somebody loaned him a car. He said, I just want to finish second in points after a devastating weekend of the rain and whatnot. He jumped in somebody else's car, did about 3 laps, popped off, took second place. So I tip my hat to Danny Fry, but Alex DeVito is your champ.
Yeah.
And Alex DeVito, like you said, we're going to have to check the history books to see if he's the youngest champ ever at Tomah. But I got to go back to the nickname. I don't know if you hear it when you said something about it. Our producer, engineer Jesse, on the other side of the wall, singing it. So we know people know this song.
Rhinestone Cowboy. When Chris Christen comes on and said, we told him you're only coming on the TV show if you sing some Glenn Campbell. So we're going to take the pressure off you.
No, thank you.
Searching, buddy.
We're saving Paul off of his head right there. Yeah. Next up, Jeff LaFave Jr. in that 74 entry. He had the entire year in the hobby stocks. I'm pretty sure he won every single feature but one. Had the car for sale for about 3 weeks and decided, nope, I got a brand new sponsor, wrote out the season, and what an impressive run he had.
Yes, it was just a great season for Jeff, another championship for him at Tomah. And is the car still for sale? Or
it's still for sale. As you'll see when he was in Victory Lane, as he's coming around the corners, you see the big for sale sign on there. That is a solid body. That's not a body that's put together with panels. That's an original body on that car. And if you're looking for a hobby stock next year, Billy Doc Niles, there you go.
Definitely. Well, For Sale is the new sponsor, don't you know that?
There we go.
Like we talked about with Patrick Ticky and Matt Moore earlier, another dominating performance, finishing it off in Victory Lane, taking home a championship.
The only 2 divisions that the champions did not win, and it was really strange. Let's go to the modifieds. Last 2 laps right here, we're going to see Brad the Wildman Wilds pull away from the field here. We had an early race caution, and when the caution was done, there was some confusion in the lineup. We get the lineup set with 14 of 15 laps to go, so we're early on the race. Paul Brown, your champion of the modifieds, winner on turns 1 and 2, broke an upper ball joint just like that in the grass, done.
That's unbelievable.
He had a half a lap in the feature before he broke, and his night was over with.
And there's another example of somebody having a good enough cushion to be able to have something like that happen on the last night and still be able to walk away with a championship.
So our good friend Paul Brown wins the championship, and what a great guy he is. He's going to possibly run modifieds at Oktoberfest this year as well. I think the Ham and Denny Schott, Wilds, the whole gang is going to be coming out. For the sportsman class, Tom Farah is your sportsman champ. He had a brand new car out there Friday night at championship night, broke the back end in practice, and didn't even get to compete.
Wow, that's you hate to see stuff like that, but like we just said, another example of having a big padded point lead. But how about the old man?
Larry Bolster comes out. He and Jason Stark, they were doing some tag teaming in the sportsman car and the hobby stock car because Jason Stark ran Bill Schott's car for the sportsman. It was really weird how those guys were doing it. What was even weirder, 78 miles per hour on Larry Bolster's breakout lap, and he wins the feature.
You know, Larry Bolster has lots and lots of time at this track. And if you look at tracks like this, or like the old Columbus 151, they say you got to drive it like you have an egg under the pedal. And he is the master at feathering that pedal just where it needs to be to get the maximum amount of speed out.
In the first season, Larry Bolsters came back out to play in many years, and man, he is having a blast.
Yeah, he's about the same age as me, and he's retired more than once. You know, shocking. Way to go, Bolster Favre. And but he's having a blast. You know, his son's running well around the state, and he gets to play every now and then also.
He just called Larry Bolster a waffle. Waffling. Did you get that?
I did not say waffle.
Well, when you called him Favre-esque, Favre was accused of waffling.
Well, okay.
And I guess Bolster's a waffle.
Bolster, you're a waffle.
When we come back, we're going to talk to a gentleman driver. He's about the size of a large Eggo waffle. We're going to talk to Chris Christen next on KQEG TV.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue is up and running on the north side of La Crosse. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big Boar Barbecue. Yes, the food truck is open at George and Gillette Street to make it easier for you north siders to find out why La Crosse County has voted us 4 years in a row as the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and now open at George and Gillette Street. A delicious mouthful.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter.
Hey, Dave.
Like giving Jeff his ladder back before he takes it back. Or where to put the food when you both get the groceries. Or the doggy door that just became a raccoony door. Whatever you're worrying about, it won't be this. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call today for your free estimate on a new American Standard system or schedule online at careyheating.com.
Welcome back, race fans. Severus Racing KQEG TV. I'm Radio Man Dan Dyker, along with Billy Doc Niles. Hey, we do have to mention that this program is being brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue. I drove past their location on the way to tape this week in West Salem. I could smell the barbecue all the way to the stop-and-go lights.
You could smell anything through a lead wall, so...
This is true. But this was Big Boar Barbecue.
Yeah, well, of course, and it's the best.
Boy, didn't know it.
I have been to a couple of barbecue joints over the last couple of months, and hands down, their shredded pork is just
How do you think Big Boar Barbecue would have fared at Taste of Madison last weekend?
Oh, Big Boar Barbecue would have been a hit. I will tell you that right now. They'd have been a hit.
Jerry Beyer, we'll even go down there and work for free.
Who's this wee stuff?
I'll go down there and work for free. I also want to thank
I'm going to bring people there.
Epic Media and Vinyl for supplying us with that.
There you go.
Back 40 wraps.
Chris, put your hand up. You got to do that. There we go. Thank you. That's Paul's job.
And then fansarena.com, who supplies us. Paul is pointing with our shirts. This young man sitting between Paul and I, or Billy and I, he's been trying to have a good go at it the past, 4 or 5 years, maybe a little bit longer. 4 years at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. And that is Chris Christen, who runs a hobby stock at Tomah. He's ran a Thunderstox at La Crosse, a street stock, a minivan. Have you ever ran a Hornet?
No, I had one last year, practiced it, blew it up, and sold it.
Kind of surprising, because it only stands like 3 foot nothing. I think you could slide into a CRX with no problem at all.
That's one of the cars I've always been wanting to have.
So you ran multiple divisions this year. Take us through how you've progressed in each one of them.
Well, street stock, started out there with a good car, and it's raced and then hit the wall. And second race, I came out and I ran a minivan.
Oh, I remember that. I was there that night.
I let Kendon Thurk race my car. He was doing good, third in the feature. And then he hit the wall and took that car to scrapyard.
I got a theme progressing here.
Yeah, I'm starting to
Did
sense
good,
one here.
hit the wall. Did good, hit the wall.
Let's continue on.
And then I wasn't planning on not racing anymore this year. And then went and bought a hobby stock and just got that done. Did a couple races. Been doing good so far, and hopefully Oktoberfest.
And the
good.
theme is over.
Yep.
Matter of fact, that theme is really over because of the Tomah Sparta Speedway here 2 weekends ago. He ended up taking second in the feature. Second got DQ'd, some other cars demolished each other, but you drove your line at a very tricky track, especially the corners. You stayed out of all that carnage, and you had to feel good to sit back and go, man, that was my best feature ever in 4 years.
Oh, yeah, that was the best finish I've ever did. With some problems in the heat, came back out strong.
So, of course, he comes from racing loins.
Yep.
His dad is a late model driver, Rob Christian. Good guy, great guy, all around great guy.
Yeah, I can say different some days.
Over here in the corner.
You notice he was quick to answer that question. Sorry, Rob.
The best to do is you got to get on either his Facebook or Rob's Facebook and watch the conversations that these two have going back and forth. I could watch that for 3 days.
No, there's always something going on with us.
So how much, back to a serious question here, how much help do you get from your dad with this endeavors you're doing?
I really don't get much help from him.
So you help him with the late model and he doesn't help you?
That's how it goes.
Ah.
Are you ever going to be in the late model?
I'm hoping so. He's got one just sitting, so I'm hoping work something out for him maybe next year.
Of course, you guys have a brand new shop now. I saw both cars parked back to back. That's really cool to see.
Oh, yeah, he just got that and told me my car's not going there, and look at where my car's at now.
It was there.
It was there?
Yep.
It blended in good with the plywood.
I see you got the Joe Reinert's T-shirt on, which is really cool. Talk about what he meant to your family.
He's always been in my family, and once my dad's always raced with him, his family's always helped us, and then once he passed away, it's kind of not good.
I know you and I talked at the track the year after Joe Reynolds passed away. You were kind of using it as a motivator that he couldn't be there to race, and it kind of you had this drive that you wanted to run a Thunderstox like he did, driving it deep, and I'm going to move you if I need to. And I've kind of seen that, but I think that car-wise, you've had some problems with the cars itself, and I think with the new one you have now, I think 2019 should be a whole lot better than you had this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping next year go through the whole car and work on it every week, like I've been doing the past couple of years.
Now, is this car going to race both lacrosse and Tomah, or are you just going to run exclusively Tomah?
I was going to do Tomah next year, as many as I can, and lacrosse.
Okay, awesome.
Now, we've talked to a lot of drivers in the show this year when you talk about setups. Hornets, obviously, are set up totally different from lacrosse compared to Tomah. I know Thunderstox are the same thing. With the hobby stocks now, what are the main differences between running the Crosse Speedway and the Tomah Sparta Speedway when it comes to that car, or a car, hobby stock in general?
Like, they have different tires you can run, but I just run lacrosse tires, and pretty much just the air pressures that I do, and pretty much the only difference I do with the car.
Does weight and camber and all that kind of stuff come into play or not?
I think the weight's the same, and the camber I just keep it from lacrosse.
So gearing is pretty much the same. You don't do any special setup tricks, or just tire pressures.
Pretty much just tire pressures, same gear.
Anybody over at Tomah help you out? That's one of the coolest things. You go over there, modify. Denny Schatz go over talking to Hornet guys and helping them with setups. I mean, that's we've seen that all year long at Tomah.
I've had Tom Farah, he's been helping me. And then Bill Schott, he's been helping me also. From when I hit the wall, he brought me over a tire I didn't have, threw it on my car, and got second in the feature.
Two good guys out of Tomah to be following behind. Bill Schott awfully fast as he was, 2 weekends ago, I think it was, Paul? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Tom Farah getting the track championship.
Well, the season is not over yet. What are your plans for what I like to call season-ending specials? What do you got for plans?
Plans are September 15th, run hobby stock at Tomah, and Fest at lacrosse.
That's it, just those two?
Yep.
Okay.
Then you get a long winter.
Yeah, work on the car.
There's nothing wrong with that. You got to work on the car.
Yeah, hoping maybe put a new body on it.
What happens after this? You've raced 4 different divisions at lacrosse this year. Where do you want to see Chris Christen racing, and what do you want to see yourself racing in the next couple of years?
Well, I'm hoping to get in the late model in the next couple of years, but I want to get a couple feature wins in Thunderstox at lacrosse, maybe Tomah, and top 5 in points.
Got goals.
It's a menu of success right there right off the bat.
You got to have goals. Them are some high goals. I hope you make it.
Who do you like running against at lacrosse?
It's like Bolster, Lockington, Shelley. Pretty much everyone out there.
What about Tomah?
Tomah, I like running against Shot. His son Austin Shot comes out there when I'm racing. He's fun. And then Lefebvre. I'm trying to beat him.
Everybody's trying to beat him.
And that's quite the, because Lefebvre comes up from Fort Atkinson every single week in the race at Tomah. So, I mean, that's a good tribute to what he likes to see up at our track. Sponsors for this year, who was helping you out?
Just Garrett Dickey, he had helped me haul my car, and then pretty much just me.
You don't have the toilet paper guys?
No, he's helping my dad, and I didn't ask him for nothing this year, so maybe next year.
Well, if you ever know the toilet paper's out there, I have a bunch of it in the tower.
Oh, yeah.
Get it from Fan Photo.
And there's a reason for this.
It is. It's Flow-Right
Pipe and sewer.
And Rob Christian, his dad, brings out toilet paper to give away at Fan Fest, and it's got stuff written all over it. Rob knows I use those every single year. I put both my racing flags in them. And it's like a very pretty Mr. Whipple kind of a vase.
He said pretty, folks.
And I said Mr. Whipple.
Yes, you did.
You know who Mr. Whipple is?
No.
He squeezed the Charmin. No, he didn't squeeze the Charmin. He yelled at people who
He
squeezed the
sure right in
Charmin.
the grocery aisles, too. I bet you Paul got yelled at for doing that and just ran amok throughout grocery stores with Charmin. I can see our Penguin Paul doing that. I really could. Chris Christen, hey, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
This guy's fought long and hard with the cars he's had. I think he's finally got himself a good car, Billy Doc Niles, that's going to carry him on. I can't wait to see what he can do it fast.
Oh, definitely. We're looking forward to it.
Got to thank Big Boar Barbecue, fansarena.com. He was late that time. Paul was doing it.
You went out of order.
Back 40 Wraps, Epic Media, everybody else for joining us on the program. Thank you very much. When we come back next week, we're going to be looking at flashbacks, getting you ready for Oktoberfest. Here, the big shows going on throughout the region. For Paul Reichert, who's eating croutons, Billy Doc Niles, Chris Christen, I'm Dan Dyker. Thanks for joining us on KQEG TV.
You've been watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV with Dan the Voice Dyker, Billy Doc Niles, and Paul the Statman Reichert. Brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, in La Crosse on 3rd Street downtown and George and Gillette Street. Big Boar Barbecue. Now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialist, serving the La Crosse area since 1929. Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. Thanks for watching Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
4 years in a row and counting. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer at Big Boar Barbecue. Once again, La Crosse County has voted us the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County. Making great ribs and great barbecue has always been my passion, and it means a great deal to me that you love what we do. If you haven't tried our ribs, pulled pork, brisket, or smoked chicken, try it and you'll agree. Big Boar Barbecue, a delicious mouthful.
Yeah.